Hi, and welcome to the Douglas on My Mind show. I'm Blondell Thomas, the City of Douglas Media Relations and Event Coordinator, and we'd like you to join us in just a few minutes for another great show. We're back from break, and thank you for joining the Douglas on My Mind show. Today I have Mr. George Blampede here to tell us a little bit about what's going on with the Douglas Kiwanis Club. Thank you for joining us today, George.
Well, thank you for having me. I appreciate it very much.
So tell the folks out there that may not know what the Douglas Kiwanis Club is, exactly what do y'all do and how can they get involved with your programs?
Douglas Kiwanis Club is a civic club, and our main goal is to serve children. I think our saying is serving one child at a time, one day at a time. And so all of the proceeds and the things that we do, which we're going to talk about in a minute, fundraiser that we're having, goes towards kids. And for example, we have a building upgrades program in the school system. We help the Sheriff's Boys Ranch, Hope Center, Mary Hayes Center. We have a K-Kids program at Indian Creek. We have a Key Club at CCA. We have a Builders Club at the middle school, and we just want to help the community. The other thing we do, we also help some adults. For example, at Pine Meadows Senior Care, we have Bible study. Father John Cummings from St. Andrew's Anglican Church, who's a Kiwanian, does that. I teach an exercise class free of charge. We also do what we call Kiwanis One Day, where we go around to the apartments, and if some of these that are shut-ins and they need help cleaning and that, we do that. Then we have a luncheon for them. So we not only work with children, we also try to help with various members of the community.
Wow, that's awesome. Yes.
Well, thank you
very
much. And to get involved, we meet every Tuesday night at the Flying Cowboy at 6:30. We'd love to have you come as our guest. It's in the back room there in the front. As you walk in the front door, you take a right. We're in that room right there. And come as our guest sometime, see what we do if you'd like to make a difference in your community.
Yes, definitely, and y'all do a lot of programs. My daughter is part of the Indian Creek bunch. So,
yes, we do.
Yeah, I know.
And basically what we do with these school programs with the K-Kids and Builders Club and that is to develop leadership skills.
Right.
And to help them. And I want to say this too, we work very closely with the 4-H. They helped us we help fund their programs. They do a great deal of work for us and help us with projects and supply volunteers.
Okay, wonderful. Well, tell us, what can the public do, or what type of fundraisers do you have throughout the year?
Well, we're going to talk about one
the one that's coming up.
Right. The biggest one coming up is the Bushman Band is coming back to Douglas. And I didn't realize it until I looked at the history of the Bushmen, but they are a local.
Yes.
The Bushmen got their start in Douglas in 1962 as the Revlons. They love both white and black Southern music. They performed with various groups such as Rolling Stones. They were lead-ons for various name groups, and they were so overly well responded that their openers became headlines.
Right.
One of the members is in the Hall of Fame. Rodney Mills, the bass player, is in the Hall of Fame. The original members were John and Joey Adams, Tommy Kennerly, Rodney Mills, and Harry Aldridge. And some of them are still with the band. But the biggest thing I want to say to the community, this is local. These are the people that were local from Douglas, Georgia, and they're coming back to entertain us with 50s and 60s music.
And a lot of people may recognize them being the band for
the
Jukebox Saturday Night.
They were the Jukebox band. They helped raise money for the Martin Theater when they first started. And so I'm hoping that people will come and support them.
Yes, and now what date will that be?
This will be Saturday, June the 23rd at the Martin Center on East Ashley Street. 7 o'clock, the doors open till 6. They're not going to be reserved seats, so whoever gets there first gets the best seats.
Okay.
The biggest thing is the Martin Theater's had a lot of renovations. And they have redone a lot of things, new sound system. They have concession stands there now, so we don't have to fight over the water fountain for water anymore. So that'll be nice, and they've redone the stage. So William Minkema has done a great job, and he's helped us a great deal.
Yeah, that's good. That's wonderful. Now, you mentioned that they play like 1950s and
50s and 60s
music.
music of that era. And I want to stress this. This is an era back in the day when family values and religion was important. And these 50s and 60s music folks for the black and white community brought people together. And we're hopeful that by them coming back will help us get back together, because you'll be able to rock and roll, and I would be surprised if some people stand up and want to dance in the aisles.
Right, that's right.
Yeah.
Now, what time is it on Saturday?
It'll be at 7 o'clock. The doors will open at 6. And if I can tell them a little bit about the cost. Is that all right?
Yeah.
The cost will be $15 at the outlets. And the outlets will be at Stan Rocket, State Farm Insurance on the Baker Highway, Fairway Foods in West Green, Nichols Pharmacy in Nichols, Marlene Baldry Edward Jones on Madison, North Madison, Broxton Pharmacy, the Chamber of Commerce in the Atrium, Zaxby's, Boone Farmers, and any Boone's Pharmacy in Pearson, and any Kiwanis member. Now,
Okay.
it's $20 at the door, so
Right.
best to buy them if you can on there. Couple things that are important. If you go to the Kiwanis Club of Douglas Facebook, you can purchase your tickets online. And why is that important? A lot of people may not live in Douglas.
That's right.
Okay. The other thing that's important, if you come and buy your ticket that night, we will take credit cards at the door. Otherwise, you have to pay cash or check.
Okay.
But we will take credit cards at the door, and you can also purchase online at the Kiwanis Club of Douglas Facebook page.
Right, so if they want to purchase them ahead of time, the best way to do it with a credit card would be to go to the Facebook page
Right. Yeah,
Right,
they can go to the Facebook page or do it at the door.
or do it at the door. Okay.
Otherwise, you pay cash or check.
Now, how much again are the tickets?
All right, it's $15 for purchasing either from a Kiwanis or out the outlets. $20 at the door.
And it's on what day?
Saturday, I'll be all right. June the 23rd, 7 o'clock at the Martin Center.
Right.
And I'll tell you, I'm excited about it. I know when they played with Jukebox, I mean, those people were rocking and rolling. And they'll get you rocking and rolling. And one of the things, let me say, with the new sound system, I think that's going to be better. But you're going to maybe understand what they say.
Yeah.
Instead of this other type of music where you don't know what they're saying. And they blow you out. I remember I won't mention what concert we had, but it was one of them new ones. And a lot of people got up and left because it was just blowing you
wow.
out. Yeah.
Okay.
But this will be something you'll enjoy.
All right. Well, are there any other fundraising efforts?
Yeah,
from the
we're going to
Kiwanis Club?
have the Chicken Q coming up in October, and there'll be more information about that.
Okay.
Also, I think we'll be at Hungry Howie's for pizza night, where you can get a pizza, 2 pizzas for $7, and that money also goes for kids. We'll be waiting on tables and doing that. But
right.
the biggest thing is, and I'm saying to this community, this is a chance with the Bushmen to support a local band, people who were born and raised here or lived here, and this is an opportunity to come back and enjoy. I can remember going to high school back in the 60s, how much fun it was and how I loved dancing and listening to that music. So, hey, there's not many places you can go to hear good music. The other thing I'm going to say, if you're interested in having the Bushmen play or for weddings or all kinds of things, if you'll just, I'm not going to give you all the numbers.
Right.
If you'll call me at 384-9263, I'll give you their number because they will play. In fact, I think some of them are playing at 1800, the Mexican restaurant,
Oh, okay.
on Saturday nights.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. All right, George. Well, we appreciate you coming today.
Right? So, hey, Saturday, June the 23rd, 7 o'clock, Martin Center. Get your tickets ahead of time. Tickets will be on sale starting on the 23rd of this month, which will be
Okay.
this week. They'll be at the outlets. I'm going to pick them up today.
Okay.
And, hey, come and join us and rock and roll on June the 23rd, 7 o'clock at the Martin Center on East Ashley Street.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
One, two.
Welcome back to the Douglas On My Mind show. I'm here now with Jan McLaurin, the City of Douglas AMI coordinator, and she's going to tell us about some changes that are coming up, which are some good changes that's going to offer some more customer service friendly information and ways for customers to use and utilize or basically save money, hopefully. That's what we want them to do. So Jan, tell us a little bit about the AquaHawk Customer Porter.
This is a program that the City of Douglas has decided to add to our collection. This portal allows the customer to go in and access their usage on an hourly basis so that they can better manage their consumption, and it kind of lets them know when to turn up the air conditioner and down the air conditioner.
Yes, and it also helped like if they had a water leak or something like that, and they can see that they're
You can manage
using too much.
electric, water, and gas with this. So if you got a high consumption on your electric, it allows you to look at that. And if you've got possibly a water leak, it'll let you know within hours instead of having to wait 30 and 60 days for your bill to come out.
Right, and that will definitely help out with the bill.
Yes.
So when will the city actually begin to offer this service?
We are looking to offer this in early June is what we're aiming for.
Okay. Now, I think I had heard before y'all were going to go through a testing period and then it'll be offered.
Yes.
Is that correct?
We're currently testing it, trying to make sure that we have the best product to offer to the customers right out the door.
Okay. So tell us some more about the benefits that it will offer to the city and also to our customers.
Well, the main thing is to offer to the customers a better way to manage their account. For instance, they can go in every day if they want to and look at their usage. They can see where their bill's at, where it's going. They're actually able to set up alerts and thresholds on the account to let them know if they went over a certain dollar amount or like high consumption on water like we were talking about. As far as the city goes, it's going to help us because it will allow us to also monitor the high usage on accounts.
Right.
To date, we have already touched 160 plus customers on water leaks.
Oh, wow.
Back in January, if you remember, we had those 5 or 6 days where it was freezing.
Yes.
And we had 10 plus customers that actually have water lines bust and they had no
didn't know
idea.
it. Wow.
So, and just last week we helped a business that had a 2-inch line that had busted underneath their foundation, and it was in the back part of the building. They had no idea.
Oh,
so,
wow.
We're better able to, if you don't have that service or you don't use it, we can use it for you. So it's really going to help us help the customers. And plus, if you come into City Hall, you will be able to talk to a customer service representative and they can actually let you know if something's going on.
Right. Especially for like our elderly or older citizens, some of them may not have access to a website or information like that.
If they have a daughter or a son or something that manages their account, they can give that person access online and they can actually monitor it even if they're not here.
Oh, okay.
So that's another thing. If you own an apartment complex, you can manage all of your apartments. So, it's very diverse.
Right, right. Now, let's just say, like, for instance, I'm going to give you a quiz now. Let's say I set my threshold at, say, $100 a month for my electrical. If it begins to get near, like in the middle of the month, like at $95, will I receive an alert then telling me, look, something's going on, or will it actually wait until I go over that $100?
That's however you set it up. We offer both.
Okay.
If it goes over $95 and you set it to let you know when it goes over, it'll let you do that. If you set it to do projected over $100, if it sees midway through you've got $75 and it knows that you're going to go over that 100, it'll go ahead and let you know. So that's your choice. You can set it up one or both ways.
Oh, wow. That's really user-friendly. A lot of things, it's either one or the other. That's it.
No, you've got several choices within the program.
Okay. What type of device is required for someone to access the portal?
Let's see. The majority you can do like computer. Everybody can use the computer. A tablet. You can use your phone.
Okay.
iPad. Just basically anything that's offered, you can use it on.
That will allow you to get on the internet, basically? Okay.
Most people are going to like the mobile phone app because that's just the wave of the future.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can still, if like you were talking about an older person that's a little computer friendly, it's very simple to use.
Okay. All right. Is there a way that is there like a training process or a way that customers will be able to ask for help if they get on there and just, I know sometimes if you see something new, you kind of freak out about it. So is there something that y'all are going to offer to help customers transition to this portal?
Yes, actually, they can of course come inside and see one of our customer service representatives. They're very well trained on it, and they will walk you right through it. You can still call 912-384-3302
Right.
and talk to a customer service person, and they can walk you through it on the phone. The other way is when we give access to the internet, which is where another way you'd register. You can go on there, and when you click on the registration page, right there in the top right-hand corner is help. And you've got step-by-step instructions for the people that like to go and just follow line by line. And then they've also got videos for those people that are more, let me see how you do
Some of
it.
those YouTube videos that
That's
are
what they
awesome.
are. That's
How
what they
to.
are. Mhm.
And then I also know that through the city, we are also going to be sending out some information to our customers to let them know that this change is coming and just all the possibilities that it will offer to them with Utility Hawk. All right, was there any other little bit of information you want to share about Utility Hawk?
No, just that we're looking forward to it, and it's already helped so many customers, and we just can't wait to see what the customers can do with it themselves.
Oh,
Because
yeah.
I think they're really going to enjoy this. It's
Yeah.
going to help. It's going to help them better manage their utilities and what they use, and if they need to cut back on their air so that they can save some money, or if my main one that I really love is the leak one,
Right.
because it really helps. Those customers are so excited when you call them, or when they get a notification saying something's wrong, you better
Something's
check it
going
out.
on. Right.
So,
And a leak could be anything from like a toilet that's running or anything like
last
that, right?
week I actually made around 10 calls to customers that had toilet leaks, and they had no idea.
Oh, wow.
And
Okay.
it's cut their water bill in half.
Yes. If the city can offer a way to save money, I'm sure the customers are going to
Yes,
love it.
They love it. They love it. They're so appreciative. They call back and they let us know. So
Okay. Well, thank you for coming. And it sounds like this Utility Hawk is going to be the way for a lot of our customers to go. And we may have to have you back just to kind of give us a little tutorial or an update, which I'd love to hear like some success stories like you're sharing already, that you've already been able to help some people with leaks.
sounds like a plan. Sounds good. I'm excited.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
One time, one time.
Hi, and welcome back to the Douglas on My Mind show. I am here now with Miss Patty Merritt, our Main Street coordinator, and she is going to tell us about an exciting event that everybody looks forward to every year at the first of summer. So Patty, tell us a little bit about your event that's coming up.
Well, what we have coming up is the annual Summer Beach Bash. This is probably about our 15th year actually hosting the Beach Bash in downtown Douglas. It is an event that a lot of our citizens do look forward to attending, not just in the city, but in the county as well. It's very kid-friendly, kid-oriented, family-oriented, so it's going to be on Tuesday, June the 5th, vacant lot adjacent to City Hall.
From what time?
It'll be from 4 p.m. until 8 p.m.
Okay.
Typical things we're going to have there is going to be the giant water slides, of course. We're going to have a bounce house. Of course, we're going to have a DJ. We're going to have the pony rides. Different activities for kids is going to be there. We're going to have some community partners that'll be there as well. Some different vendors. So the sand pit will be there. Hula hoop contest. So all the fun for the kids will be there well, 2 weeks from tomorrow.
Yes.
So had to
It's
get my
coming
time
up.
right there. So it's coming up in 2 weeks.
All right. And it is a lot of fun. I know every year that I know there's got to be at least 1,500
Oh, yeah,
if not
easily.
more than that. Yeah,
Easily.
that come and visit. And the one good thing that I think about this event is that sometimes people don't really think about it, but during the summer, not every child gets a chance to go to
No.
the beach or go to a water park or anything like
No,
that.
they don't. And the realities of it is I was actually speaking with our new city planner last week in a meeting that he and I had, and we were discussing the poverty rate here in the city of Douglas.
Right.
Just us alone and nowhere else, just citizens of Douglas. And that was a very high number that we were looking at when you compared it to our population. And when you take things like that into consideration, as you stated, and I've actually had parents and grandparents over the years that have came to me and they've said, you know, thank you for doing this event because this is my child or my grandchild's vacation.
Right.
So with that, and it's always a humbling experience when you hear those words because, you know, I know like with my kids, for example, vacations are taken for granted because that is something they've had a privilege of having over the years. So this is one of the just very few activities that does take place in our community that's free to these children, and
Right.
it doesn't cost these parents anything for these children to have 4 hours of fun. Plus, what I look at too is 10, 15 years down the road, despite what a child grows up and is at that point living in, or if they're on their own, I still would like to think that I possibly helped create a memory for that child in downtown
Right.
Douglas to some degree.
Right. You are exactly right.
I think it's a good event.
It
and
is.
The kids like it, and that's what's important to me is making a memory and doing something for this community that is positive.
Yeah, I have to say the only thing I don't like about it is the fact that I don't get a chance to go down the water slide.
Well, actually,
As
I
hard as
tried
it
that
is.
one year, and the Douglas Enterprise captured a really ugly picture.
Right.
And that was whenever my foot slipped on the ladder, and I actually went down the ladder chin first, like
Oh,
you see
no.
on the cartoons. So yeah, I decided to never slide down the water slide again.
Yeah.
That ended me. Yeah.
Now, you mentioned community partner participation. What type of community partners are we looking at?
With community partners, so that individuals will understand that is anything from a church to a business, whether you're big or small, it doesn't matter. You can just be like, for example, I want to use the Coffee County School Nutrition Program. They have
Right.
been faithful partners over the years. And what we do there is we do allow you to come in as a community partner. It doesn't matter if you are a Main Street business or if you're from Coffee County.
Right.
If you want to be from Birmingham, Alabama and come in, that's fine with us. But what we do allow you to do is you get to come in for free. That's a 10 by 10 space. And you have the opportunity to market your business or your company or your school or the program that you're offering. You can't sell anything,
Correct.
but you do have the opportunity to pass out brochures, flyers. If you wanted to have an ink pen with your name on it telling who you were, you do have the opportunity to do that to the general public.
Right, and that would be a really good time for somebody who's just starting up a business to kind of
Absolutely.
get their name out there. Yeah.
Because I mean, the realities of it is for 4 hours, we're not charging you anything as the city of Douglas to
Right.
come out and set up as a community partner. It is a marketing opportunity for you. Yes, you have to provide your time and your table and your chair and your tent and all of your marketing materials.
fan.
But still, that's right. Well, actually, we don't offer electricity.
Oh, yeah.
So, I mean, we do recommend that you bring that tent, though. But it is an opportunity to market your business for free. So,
Okay.
as far as space goes, so it is a good opportunity for businesses.
Okay. Is there anything else that you want to get out there to community organizations or possible sponsors? I know you do have some sponsors, so we do want to give them a shout out.
Yeah, we definitely want to say thank you to the Douglas Rotary Club. Thank you for once again sponsoring this event, because without your help and actually your backing for this event, it would not be taking place in this community.
Right.
So to all of you members with the Douglas Rotary Club, 2 thumbs up. Thank you. We definitely appreciate it.
Yes.
To be a community partner, or if you would like to be a general vendor and you need more information on that, we're no longer accepting food vendors. Just want
Right.
to pass that along. You can contact my office at 912-384-5161, or you can contact the Community Development Office and speak with Blondell or Candace at 912-383-0277. We have requested that the deadline for the applications be this Friday, May the 25th, May the 25th at 5 p.m. if at all possible.
Okay, all right. And are there any other sponsors that you want to give a shout out to?
Oh my goodness, Blondell, you're going to have to help me here. Definitely, we just want to thank our local radio station affiliates with John Higgs, Matt Baldridge, all of the crew there with their radio stations. I know it's the Rocket and help me.
The Vibe,
They-
and the Buck, I think.
The Buck, yes, the Buck. We want to say thank you to all of those radio stations there because they are other partners there. They're huge sponsors and they're helping to get the word out and they're making it possible for us. Coca-Cola, we salute you because you are wonderful to the city of Douglas. So I want to say thanks to Coca-Cola. I feel like I'm leaving someone else out, but I honestly can't think other than the city of Douglas. Of course, we thank you too for giving us the space and the location and the support as well.
All right, well, thank you, Patty, for being here, and I am looking forward to the Beach Bash as I do every year. I won't get to, a chance to go down that water slide, but it'll be all right because I don't think anybody wants to see that anyway.
Right. Well, and I want to throw in just a couple other little housekeeping rules here so everyone will know. Number one, in the event we are scheduled to have rain that day, like bad weather, just to let the community know if that happens, there will not be a rescheduled date.
Right.
So just automatically know that if it is storming, thunder and lightning at 4 o'clock, that means the event would be called for safety purposes, of course. And then the second thing there, I just want to remind everybody, if the weather's great, even if we've got overcast weather with no rain predicted and it's 85 degrees, I do encourage parents to bring the sunscreen, utilize the sunscreen, put it on your children. You may want to bring like a beach towel in the event they get wet. And I'm here to tell you that 99% of those kids, they do get wet and they are covered in sand by the time they leave.
Yeah.
So parents, you might want to bring a chair so you can sit in at the event too. You're more than welcome to do so. But just keep any items in mind that you would actually carry to the beach for a day trip. You need to bring that with you to this event as well.
Right. And also, to make sure they stay hydrated, water or anything like that.
Absolutely. And we do request too that don't drop your kids off and leave them. That's not very safe because we are very limited with staff and it's hard to monitor 2,000 people.
That's right.
On a very small lot. So we do ask that
It's impossible. I'll just say that.
Yeah, but it is impossible. And for safety purposes, we do request that all children be there with a supervisor, with a guardian or a parent or someone.
All right. Well, Patty, again, thank you for being here with us, and we'll have to get you back at another date to talk about something else that's coming up, I'm sure, coming up pretty soon in October.
No problem.
All right. We'll be right back after this.
One time.
Welcome back to the Douglas On My Mind show. I'm Blondell Thomas, the City of Douglas Event Coordinator and Media Relations. I'm here now with Mayor Tony Paulk. Welcome, Mayor.
Good evening.
What we have been doing the past few months is kind of going live with our city commissioners and the mayor. We're not really live, but recording city commissioners and the mayor with updates to provide our citizens some things that y'all may want them to know about straight ahead, and just kind of give them an update of what y'all are doing, how things are rolling, what you want to see happen, and things like that. So before we get started, since this is your first interview on here, tell us a little bit about yourself for those people who may not know you. I don't know who could that possibly be, but just in case.
Well,
Actually, this is my second time
Okay.
I came on. I came on immediately after I was elected for the second time.
Okay.
A little bit about myself. I was born and raised in Douglas, Georgia. My parents are from Douglas, Georgia. My wife is from Douglas, Georgia. I've been married for 30 years.
Wow.
I have two daughters. Kiara is 29 and Destiny is 23, or soon to be 24. Just been a lifelong member of the community. I retired from the military. I came back home and wanted to make an impact, a noticeable impact on my childhood community.
And you have been doing an excellent job.
Thank you.
What do you do in your free time? Like, do you have any
In my
hobbies?
free time,
When you get free time.
Yes. My free time normally consists of hanging out with my wife. My wife and I, we purchased some property adjacent or close to what's better known as the Block, but it's actually the George Washington Carver Shopping Center.
Right.
To reinvest in our childhood neighborhood, to try to give it a facelift, make it more aesthetically appeasing to our community as a whole.
And it does. It looks wonderful.
Thank
I've
you.
been by there, and
Thank
it's
you.
awesome.
And we're expanding.
Yeah, and there's some good country ribs over there too. Aren't there?
Exactly.
Well, tell me, how long have you been serving as our mayor?
Well, currently I've been back for 2.5 years, so that would give me a total of 6.5 years with an 8-year break.
Right, because you were mayor previously
Correct.
before 2016 came into
Correct.
play. And so tell me, what do you see that may be a little different this time around than what it was the first time?
Well, I think that the biggest difference this time is this is not my first term.
Right.
The first time I was elected, that was my first time ever being engulfed into any type of politics. And the Lord blessed me to be mayor.
Right.
All of a sudden, I was the chief executive officer of a $70 million corporation with, at that time, 240 employees. So it was a lot of trial and error, learning on the go, spending a lot of time talking to GMA, trying to get an understanding as exactly how city government works, because as a citizen looking on the outside, and then all of a sudden that responsibility being upon you, you look at things a little different.
Right.
Now this time, the learning curve is not as great. A lot of things have not changed that much, but we've tweaked some processes to be more efficient for the citizens of Douglas.
Right, right. And one thing citizens may not realize is it's not as easy as it looks, is it?
Well, I think that one of the things that our citizens, by way of entrusting that authority to us, do not have to get down into the weeds of the day-to-day operations or the
Right.
policies. A young lady told me the first time I was elected, I said, well, you ought to come down to City Hall to a commission meeting and state your case. She said, sweetheart, if I need to come to City Hall, I shouldn't have sent you down there.
That's true.
So, and that always radiated with me. I try to keep the citizens' best interests on my heart as well as on my mind, because sometimes being on your heart you will display more compassion, empathy and sympathy to someone else's situation.
Right, right. You are absolutely right. What is one of your, well, up until now, what is one of your best accomplishments that you feel like?
Well, I think that the best accomplishment that I have this time during my tenure as the mayor is a relationship with the council. Commissioner Pearson, Commissioner Moore, Commissioner Taylor, Commissioner McNeil, Mayor Pro Temp Durham, and Commissioner Gowan, we actually get along.
Right.
We, when we go off to training, we're always in a huddled mass, talking to one another. We are a true team. We have an unwritten agreement that we're going to disagree.
Right.
But that's okay. That's okay for us to disagree. But I do think we are at a point where we're more cordial, we're more respectful of each other's opinion. As I stated earlier, been in office this time 2.5 years. I've only cast one vote. I would say 97% or above of all the votes that we have had this time have been unanimous, except for maybe about 6 or 7 votes.
Right.
So we're able to have those crucial conversations, not necessarily in the chamber with everybody watching, and I always encourage everybody on the council, pick up the phone, have that conversation, go to lunch, go have a cup of coffee, talk about your differences, and see if we can meet somewhere in the middle. Compromise is not a bad word. It just means you didn't get everything you wanted and I didn't get everything that I wanted.
Right.
But we both obtained something that we can live with.
Exactly.
And I think that that's the biggest difference this time as far as being the mayor is there is a connection that I feel among the entire council. We have a great time at our meetings. We handle business. You don't necessarily have to be rigid and always so serious to handle the business.
Right.
And the other thing coupled with that is our city manager and his staff have provided the necessary information where we're able to make an informed decision that's best for the citizens of Douglas. It is so gratifying as the mayor is that when a department head or staff member presents something to us, all the groundwork, all the heavy lifting has already been done.
Right.
It's just before us to maybe provide some guidance, a little bit of direction, or tweak it just a little bit, and it goes through.
Yeah. Yeah, I can say that I've noticed with working with you and the city commission and all that the city commission and you, of course, are a little more open. You do encourage department heads and people who are on the agenda to, go to y'all first and talk to
Yes.
y'all and let y'all know what's going on.
Yeah,
Right.
because I can have a 30-minute conversation with you in my office or even in your office over coffee or lunch, but to try to have a 30 or 45-minute conversation during a meeting, that's quite difficult.
Right.
And I'm the type of person, I like to get my agenda, although I'm a little old school, I like mine printed so I can make my notes. I read through it, I make my notes, and then I pick up the phone and I call the city manager. Hey, tab A, question B, question C. I need those answers.
Right.
Well, he normally provides me those answers well in advance of the meeting. So either I can make some adjustments or not even ask my question because I've already have that resolved. And I don't want to appear to be as interrogating that department head when I already had the information.
Right, yeah. So it's a good thing to ask questions. Most
Oh, Lord.
definitely.
But I think that those questions need to be asked in a respectful manner.
Right.
Hey, look, this is the agenda. I don't understand this. Where are those funds coming from? Well, hey, it's here. Oh, forgot about that.
Yeah.
And we can move on.
Yeah, opening up that conversation is what it's all about.
Exactly.
Well, being a public servant, what are some of the challenges you have faced?
Well, I think that the biggest challenge that I've faced is trying to balance working full time in Waycross, being married for 30 years, having a daughter in Statesboro, having a daughter in Tallahassee. My mom and my dad are here. There's only 24 hours in a day. And one of my chief objectives every day is to walk in my house around 6:30. Debrief my wife on my day and she debriefed me, and we sit there and we have our time. And sometimes that's quite challenging being the mayor. Everybody wants to talk to the mayor, but I ran so everybody could talk to me.
Right.
So trying to carve out that little time, particularly for my wife, is sometimes challenging. And as we talked about Park Plaza, I'm up there. I do a lot of the carrying materials and caulking and paint.
Hands on.
Nothing technical. Nothing technical. Just a layman, a laborer up there.
Yeah.
So that keeps me busy.
Oh, yeah, it sounds like it.
Oh, yes.
Well, I know one thing that the mayor and commission that y'all recently voted on was staggered terms. And I've asked the other commissioners as they've come on how they feel about it. And so far, everybody seems to think that it's going to be a plus, a very good addition. How do you feel about that?
Well, that was one of the things that I introduced during the last election. We had Commissioner Gowan, Commissioner McNeil, Mayor Pro Temp Durham. It had never served.
Right.
Commissioner Roper came back, and I come back. So actually, we had 5 individuals that were brand new. And I think that as the mayor of the city of Douglas, we need to make some decisions that are going to be impactful on the city, not just next year, but 10 or 20 years from now.
Right.
If the citizens get in an uproar and decide to vote everybody out, there is no continuity as far as the elected officials. And one of the things that's challenging sometimes is to get individuals to understand, as an elected official, I look at the same thing that staff may look at differently. And it could be the same thing.
Right.
So without staggered terms and everybody being newly elected, where is that, well, this is how we used to do it, or this is from an elected standpoint. The citizens want those elected officials to be engulfed and immersed in the process. So with staggered terms, you'll have 3 being elected, running for office, and then the remainder the next time. So that gives us the opportunity to always have at least 3 members on the council that's not their first day on the job.
Right, because I feel like, a lot of times citizens think that, your first day in office, you're supposed to know everything.
And that's one of the things that I try to get individuals to understand. When they may ask me a question about public works, or they may ask me a question about the electric, let me get your name and number, and let me get back with you. Well, you're the mayor, you're supposed to know this. No, I'm not. I'm supposed to get you the answer, the correct answer in a timely manner, because the city of Douglas is a very complex operation. We have numerous department heads and managers that's their specialty. So I can convey, I like to think of myself as a liaison between the citizens and staff. Hey, this is what the citizens' concerns are. What do our policy, procedures, and ordinance allow us to do?
Right, yeah. You go by the straight and narrow. Get answers first, and then you can let the citizen know.
Exactly.
Which is very smart, very smart. One thing that I know that you're very passionate about is the youth of Douglas and Coffee County. So tell us a little bit about the new program that you've started this year.
Well, we started the Mayor's Youth Council, and that's primarily, we have, I think it's 14 individuals. They mirror the mayor and the commissioners, and we have public information officers, attorney, junior attorney. We have city clerks and finance officers that all mirror the actual adults in the city.
Right.
So that they get firsthand knowledge of how the city works. And when we did the orientation, I told them, I say, it's going to be very challenging to you, because some of the things that you've been told are not necessarily so.
Right.
And that's going to be difficult to go and say, well, the city runs this way. And then when you ascertain an education about it, you're going to find out that that's not necessarily so. So, and I also think that sometimes our youth get a raw deal. They get categorized or grouped as all being unapproachable, untrainable,
Right.
not mannerable, or anything like that. I do think that's a very small segment of our populace, of our teenagers. And the thing I try to get citizens to understand, they're teenagers.
Right.
They're gonna make mistakes. They're just going to make mistakes. They're pushing those boundaries of what they can do and what they cannot do. Some of them get in trouble, but the majority of our youth are good young adults, and the ones that need a little bit more guidance, we want to be able to provide that. But we want to be able to provide that from somebody that's around their age group, the mayor's youth council, and then going into teen court,
Right.
where if a child has a misdemeanor, they can go before the municipal court judge and it gets remanded to teen court. There's a very minimal fine, but everybody in those proceedings are teenagers,
Yes.
except for the judge. So there's a minimal fine. The jury is teenagers. The prosecuting attorney, the defending attorney are all students. So they get to litigate that case. They get to decide judgment on one of their peers.
Right.
And I think that's awesome.
It is.
I think that is absolutely awesome. I want, at the age of 15, if you would have given me $1 million and asked me who the mayor was, I wouldn't know that. There are young adults that know who the mayor is, and there are young adults that know who the city clerk is,
Right.
or know who's over the Department of Utilities. So I think that education is very valuable.
Right, because we've said it before, and I think you've even said it in your mayor's monthly minutes that you release each month. The youth are our future, and if we
They
don't
are.
invest in them, what are we going to invest in?
And I think that the mayor's youth council, I think that sometimes individuals get misguided with that cliche. Well, the youth are our future. I agree to that. But guess what? You have to invest in the youth.
Right.
Not just saying, hey, they are our future. Well, if they're our future, they need to get their tail down to City Hall and understand how government works.
Right.
They need to understand about how we raise funds to take care of the citizens of Douglas, the fire department, the police department, those interactions, so that in order for them, if they are truly our future, then we need to invest in them now. The Bible says something about train up a child in the way that they would go. So that's what we're doing, trying to train up those future leaders.
Okay, offer them a little bit of guidance.
A little bit of guidance.
That's it. Okay, well, Mayor, it's been awfully good that you were able to come in and talk with me today. Is there anything else that you'd like to, share with the constituents or the citizens of the city of Douglas?
Well, I think that everything is going very well in the city of Douglas. We do have some challenges. Our city manager is moving on to Atlanta to work for the Georgia Municipal Association, but those things are expected. And we are going to face that challenge head on. Mr. Jacobs has done an outstanding job.
Yes.
The city is running very smoothly. The one thing I will tell the citizens is very simple. This commission is unified in making sure that we're doing the very best that we can with the resources available for the citizens of Douglas, coupled with the staff, making sure that the staff has the necessary equipment and tools to provide that quality service. And it's great to live in the city of Douglas. It is. It is just great to live in the city of Douglas. As I tell folks all the time, we are the capital of the South.
There you go. Well, if anybody has a question for you, who should they contact at City Hall?
Well, they should just contact our well, right now we don't even have an executive assistant because with the successive planning, she was promoted and moved into human resources.
Right.
So just contact the city. It is very easy to get in contact with me.
Right. They can call 384-3302, and that will be the customer care center whenever folks call in. So, and
Outstanding.
I'm sure they can direct on who they need to go to.
Exactly. And I still get asked more Social Security questions than I do about the city of Douglas.
All right. Well, I appreciate you being here, and thank you.
Thank you very much. A pleasure.
We'll be right back after this.
One time. One time.
Welcome back to the Douglas on My Mind show. We're going to wrap up this show today with telling you a little bit about some community events or city-related events that are coming up. On May the 28th, the City of Douglas offices will be closed due to Memorial Day. So make sure that you stop by to see everyone on May the 29th to pay those utility bills or for other business-related activities with the city. On Thursday, May the 31st, the City Commission meeting will be held instead of on that Monday. It'll be held at City Hall at 7 p.m. On June the 2nd, we will have our next Douglas Residential Junk Drop-Off Day. This is for City of Douglas residents only, from 8 a.m. to 12 noon at the City Pole Yard, which is right across from the post office. Don't forget, on June the 5th, that will be our day for the Summer Beach Bash. It will take place at the vacant lot adjacent to City Hall from 4 p.m. to 8 p.m. If you have any questions or if you would like to be a community partner for the Summer Beach Bash, please call Patty Parker at 912-384-5161. On June the 8th, the Martin Center will have a special guest, Jimmy Fortune. I think he was with the Statler Brothers. He will be at the Martin Center. The show begins at 7 p.m. The doors open at 6 p.m. And last but not least, on June the 11th, we will have our City Commission meeting for June. That will be at 7 p.m. at City Hall. Also this week, May the 21st through May the 25th, the City of Douglas Fire Department will be conducting fire hydrant testing. We do ask that if you should experience rust-colored or brown water, that you allow the water to run for a few minutes before washing clothes or dishes or cooking. If you have any other problems with your water, please contact the City of Douglas Customer Care Center at 912-384-3302. And that's all the updates we have for now, and I hope you enjoyed this segment of the Douglas on My Mind show.